Hello, my name is Colby Eierman. I'm the Director of Gardens here at COPIA, the American Center for Wine, Food, and the Arts. And one of the ways we really love to show off the produce from the garden is with pizzas. It's a great way to use the great diversity of things that are coming out of the garden, put different pizzas together, just kind of get inspired, make your own recipes. So that's what we got laid out for us here is a few different things fresh from the garden. We're going to cook them up right here in our wood-fired pizza oven. So the first thing we want to do is get our dough ready. We've got a big dough ball here. And we want to make this the day before. And so this was just sitting in some flour so I can work it nicely. We just want to stretch this out, holding it by the edge, kind of lets it thin out a little bit, and then we'll give it a toss here. Try not to stick it in the rafters. And we want to make it pretty even as we go around. So holding it by the edge really does help that outer edge that as you spin it, the weight of the pizza tends to go out the edge. You get a really thick crust and a thin center. So we just give it a spin around. One last toss. And then we want to put a little flour down on our surface here so that when we go to slide this into the oven, it doesn't stick and we send all our toppings in there without the crust. So. All right, so a key ingredient for me is a little garlic, and we're using some not quite spring garlic yet. It's getting close to a finished cured dry garlic at this stage, but it's still got some moisture left in it. It actually makes a really nice topping. And so just pouring that in, or pouring some olive oil over the fresh chopped garlic and a little paintbrush here makes a great starter. So that's generally my first layer on a garden pie. And then let's see what else do we have here. We've got some different cheeses. I've got some kale that I sauteed here. It's nice to cook things a little bit. Sometimes you get something like kale. Can't throw that raw on the pizza. Saute it a little bit. Leeks are a really nice one to get caramelized in a pan. Have those for some toppings. Something like this, nice spring leek. We would chop this up, saute it a little bit, and makes a great topping. A little collection of garden herbs here. This is just a blend of thyme and oregano. Any blend of herbs that you've got. I don't like to overdo it with the herbs, but a nice little dusting gives it that fresh garden flavor. Of course, some basil. I'll put a little on now. I also like to finish a pie with a little dash of basil on top. All right, moving right along, we want to add a little bit of our shredded mozzarella. But any cheese that you have, it's fun to play with different cheeses. I really love blue cheese on a pizza. Really nice one if you have a little duck and maybe some grapes. That's a really fun combo. Some cheese on there. A little bit of goat cheese we've got here. Why not? And I like to kind of layer things as we're going up. Maybe I'll go back to some of the ingredients I already put on. Just kind of thinking about how the cheese is going to melt and caramelize and get nice and crusty here. I like to get a little crust on a few things on the top. Some other things fresh from the garden, some new potatoes. These are not your potatoes that have their tough, dry skins on them. These ones have loose skins. They're fresh right out of the garden. And so we've sliced them really thin here. And these are going to cook up really nice and quickly. A little bit of zucchini, a little fresh zucchini. You know what? I got a little bit of the flour here. I'm going to throw a little bit of the flour from the zucchini as well on here. Extra special touch. And now some spring onions. This is something like this big red long of torpedo onion. Nice, still got a lot of moisture in it still. It's not a dried onion, similar to the potato. A little extra moisture. And this makes a nice topping. We'll put it right on top at the end so that it gets a lot of heat there. It starts to caramelize and break down a little bit there. So, and then why not extra little shot of cheese on here. And I think that's it. Little drizzle of olive oil. Makes everything better. All right, I think this is ready to go in the oven. Before you go in the oven, you got to do your scooch test. Make sure you're not just dumping the toppings in there. We're scooching, so we're going in. So I've got this little peel here, and this is going to help me spin the pie. You got to keep in mind that the edge closest to the fire is going to cook certainly faster, and so we got to keep rotating the pie around at least once or twice as we're going through the cooking process here. So one way to tell that your pie is getting finished is to just touch the edge and notice that that's starting to stiffen up. And once your crust starts to get firm there, you can tell that the dough's getting finished there. You won't have gooey dough when you bite into your pie. So we're ready to slice this thing. A great way to finish your pizza if you just cooked it on the stone in your home oven is to finish it with a little bit of smoked sea salt. You can find that product around these days. See a lot of specialty salts out there. Smoked salt is one that seems to be pretty popular, and it'll give your pizza that wood-fired oven taste without having to go through the expense of building a wood oven in your backyard. So let's check it out. Buonissimo.